Everybody knows to make $1 million, you have to invest your money. But where? Nobody knows where to put the money. In this video, I'm gonna share with you where I put my money to make $1 million as fast as possible. And I'm gonna do my best to help you shortcut the process so you don't need to spend 10 years figuring it out like I did. You'll be able to figure it out within the next 10 minutes here in this video. So before I even understood the power of investing, I was broke and I was staying broke because I didn't understand the power of investing. I thought all I had to do was work really, really hard. But no matter how hard I worked, no matter how many jobs I got, no matter how much money I got paid per hour, I never seemed to be able to get rich. My money just seemed to go out as fast as it was coming in. It wasn't until I actually understood the power of investing, it wasn't until I got to experience the power of investing that my net worth took off like a freaking rocket. And so in this video, we're gonna go into the 3 key areas where I invested my money so that you can copy me if you want to. This is not financial advice by any means, but copy me if you want to and see what profound differences and changes, improvements it makes in your financial life. All right, so when it comes to the first place to invest your money, think about if you were on an airplane and the plane starts to go down and the oxygen masks fall from the ceiling. Whose mask are you gonna put on first? Yours or the person next to you? If you answered your own, you're correct, because that's what you're supposed to do. Same goes with investing. You want to invest in yourself first so that you can help those around you and optimize the space around you once you've got your own oxygen going on. So there was a time I remember where I wanted to buy a float tank. I wanted to buy one of those isolation chambers where I could just lay down and relax and relieve my stress and get really, really deep rest and recovery. And it was $10,000 and I wasn't sure if I should buy it or not. And so I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, what do you think? Should I spend 10 grand on this float tank for my house or should I just forget about it? And she asked me a really good question back. She said, do you think it would help you make more money? And I said, for sure. If my state of mind is really, really good, my business is going to be a reflection of that. My business is going to perform a lot better as well. So I went ahead, I bought the float tank and I started using it every day. And sure enough, I became a much better entrepreneur. I became a much better CEO. I became a much better human being. And as a result, everything around me improved. And so that was a pivotal moment in my investing life where I realized that, well, if I just invest in myself first, everything around me gets better. You don't have to go buy a $10,000 float tank by any means. Some of the best investments I've made in myself have been in my own education. So I'm talking about simple audiobooks. Buy a $10, $15 audiobook, or buying a physical book, or going to a conference, going to a mastermind event. Things that help me get smarter have become some of the most profitable investments I've ever made, because you don't know what you don't know. And once you invest in something and you know it, you're no longer dumb. Like when we look at somebody and we say, oh, they're dumb, what we're really saying is they don't know something. And when we look at someone who's really, really smart, we say they know a lot of things. And so in order to not be dumb, you gotta know things. How do you know things? Education, right? Books, conferences, courses, coaching programs, masterminds. Just invest in your own education so that you can know the things that you need to know in order to get rich. So the number one best place to invest your money is in yourself, is in your own education, and of course in your own health if you don't have that yet. All right, the second area of investing has to do with time management. So if I was to ask you right now, what did you do today to get you closer to making $1 million? You might list a whole bunch of different things. You might say, oh, I made some content and I built some funnels and I had some sales calls and I had some meetings and blah, 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 blah. And you might have a big list of all these things that you did, including the dishes and the laundry and all this household chore stuff, right? But if I told you that to make $1 million or to get me closer to my $1 million, I only did one thing, and that was sit down on this couch and make this video, for example. You might think, well, that's great for you, Ted, but I have all these other tasks to do. Exactly my point. The second best investment here is investing in freeing up your time so that you can do that one thing really, really well, and you can delegate everything else. How do you delegate? You invest in a team. The very first hire I ever made when I started making a little bit of money was in an assistant, a virtual assistant to take care of all the administrative tasks that I did not want to handle. Then I started delegating out like the legal stuff, like paying my taxes. And then I delegated out doing the sales side of things because I don't want to do the sales. And then I delegated out doing a lot of the fulfillment and the delivery, like the coaching. So now I have a full-fledged team. I have a chief operating officer who manages everyone. I've got a sales team. I have a coaching team. I've got a legal team, an administrative team, because I only want to do one thing really, really well. And that's sit down here, and make content for you. Some of the other couple things I do on an occasional basis, if I really want to, is I have team meetings and I work with my clients. And I love team meetings, I love working with my clients, so it's hard to take me away from that. So one of the number one questions I ask all of my new clients when they start working with me is, hey, if you could only do 3 things in the business and everything else had to be delegated, what would those 3 things be? So for me, my answer is sit down and make content like I'm doing right now, work with my team on team meetings, and work with my clients to help them get results a lot faster and turn action takers into $10,000 a month machines. Those are the 3 things I do, and everything else is delegated. So the second best investment I've ever made is investing in my team so that they can run the business for me basically while I'm sitting here focusing on my zone of genius and they're focusing on their zone of genius. All right, so by now I've invested in myself, I've invested in my team, and with whatever profit is left over, I now put into this third bucket of investing. Now, this third bucket of investing is something that I learned from the 4th richest man in the entire world as of this video. His net worth is $130 billion. His name is Warren Buffett. Maybe you've heard of him. And he invests into something called appreciating assets. When I saw Warren Buffett getting this rich by investing in appreciating assets, I thought, well, maybe I should invest in appreciating assets as well. And so now I do. There are 2 types of appreciating assets that I invest into. Number 1, companies, and number 2 are things like digital real estate, such as Bitcoin. So when it comes to investing in companies, I pretty much only invest in School. One company, SKOOL. And the reason I invest in School is because they are the only software that specializes in helping content creators and influencers and just people online build online community. So my entire business community is run on School. If you want a demo of School, if you want to check it out, see how it works, you can click the link in the description and join my free School community. So that's School. That's one of my appreciating assets. The other one, like I mentioned, is Bitcoin. And the reason I invest in Bitcoin is because it's a finite asset. It has growing demand and it's digital. I can take it anywhere I want. It's the best performing asset over the past 10 years by far. And I think it's going to continue to grow over the next 20, 30, 50 years. And so I'm very happy with that investment as well. So if you want to start your investment journey, go ahead and click the link below for the list of the top 10 audiobooks that I invested into to grow my brain, to grow my knowledge, to get to where I am today.